Picture this. A man sits alone in a quiet room. The only sound should be his breathing. But every 30 seconds, his phone lights up. A notification, an email, a message. His eyes dart to the screen. His hand reaches without thinking. He tries to return to his work, but something inside him is already shattered. His attention, once whole, now scatters like glass across concrete. This isn't just his story. It's yours. It's mine. It's the story of every person living in a world designed to fracture focus into 1,000 meaningless pieces. We live in the most distracted age in human history, and most of us don't even realize we're at war. The battlefield is your mind. The weapon is your attention, and you're losing. But here's what they don't tell you. This war isn't new. 2,000 years ago, men faced the same battle. Different weapons, same war. And they won. Not with apps, not with hacks, not with the shallow tricks that fill your feed. They won with something deeper. Something that modern neuroscience is only now beginning to understand. A method so powerful that when scientists studied it, they couldn't believe the ancients figured it out without brain scans or laboratories. The Stoics discovered the secret to unbreakable focus. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how they did it, why it works better than anything modern productivity culture can offer, and how you can use it starting today to reclaim your mind from the chaos. Let me show you what we're up against. The average person checks their phone 96 times per day. That's once every 10 minutes during waking hours. But it gets worse. Research from Microsoft found that our attention span has dropped to 8 seconds. 8 seconds. A goldfish has 9. Think about that. Our species sent people to the moon, built civilizations, created art that moves souls to tears. Now we can't focus longer than a fish. And the cost is devastating. Every time you switch tasks, every notification you respond to, you're not just losing seconds. Neuroscientists discovered something called attention residue. When your focus breaks, a part of your attention stays stuck on the previous task. It takes more than 20 minutes to fully recover. 20 minutes. If you're interrupted 3 times in an hour, you never achieve full focus. Not once. Your brain operates at partial capacity all day, every day, wondering why you're exhausted, why nothing gets finished, why excellence feels impossible. Here's the truth they won't tell you in productivity podcasts. Your brain wasn't designed for this. We have Stone Age brains trying to survive in a Screen Age world. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focused attention, becomes overloaded. Studies show that multitasking increases your cognitive load by 40%. 40%. You're essentially making yourself dumber every time you respond to a ping, a buzz, a vibration. The dopamine system in your brain, designed to reward you for finding food and avoiding danger, now gets hijacked 50 times before breakfast. Variable reward schedules. The same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive are built into every app on your phone. You scroll hoping for something good, and occasionally you find it. Your brain learns, it craves, it demands more. And you, without realizing it, become a servant to a small glowing rectangle. But there was a time when focus was everything, when a man's ability to concentrate determined not just his success, but his survival. And the greatest minds of that era developed a system that modern science is only now validating. Marcus Aurelius sat in a military camp somewhere along the Danube frontier. Around him, chaos, the screams of dying men, the clash of steel, the weight of an empire balanced on his decisions. He was the most powerful man in the world, and yet, in his private journal, he wrote instructions to himself. not about conquering nations, about conquering his own mind. Concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distractions. Read that again. Concentrate every minute, not when you feel like it, not when inspiration strikes, every minute, like your life depends on it. Because in his case, it did. One distracted decision could cost thousands of lives. But here's what most people miss. Marcus wasn't describing a technique. He was describing a way of being, a state of mind where every action receives complete attention, as if this task, this moment, is the last thing you'll ever do. Modern productivity experts call this deep work. Cal Newport built an entire career teaching what Marcus Aurelius practiced 2,000 years ago in a war camp. The principle is identical. Give undivided attention to cognitively demanding tasks. Eliminate distraction. Enter flow state. Produce at an elite level. Marcus didn't have a Pete in neuroscience. He had something better. He had necessity. And from that necessity, he distilled a truth that neuroscience would later prove with brain scans and controlled studies. When you concentrate like this, when you give complete attention to one thing, your brain does something remarkable. It stops fragmenting. The prefrontal cortex can finally do what it's designed for: coordinate complex thought, regulate emotion, maintain working memory. You become, quite literally, more capable, sharper, clearer, more you. But Marcus also understood something most modern advice misses. The real enemy isn't external distraction, it's internal. He wrote, "Stop being aimless. Stop letting your emotions override what your mind tells you. Stop being hypocritical, self-centered, irritable. These aren't moral judgments. They're attention killers. Every time you indulge in irritation, you scatter focus. Every time you let emotion override reason, you fragment the mind." Marcus knew that mastering focus meant mastering yourself, not your schedule, yourself. Then there was Epictetus, born a slave, owned like property. His body belonged to someone else. But his mind, his attention, those were his, and he protected them like treasure. In his discourses, he warned his students with words that should terrify anyone who values their potential. When you relax your attention for a little, do not imagine that you will recover it wherever you wish. Your error of today must of necessity put you in a worse position for other occasions. For first, a habit of inattention is formed. Then, a habit of deferring attention. Think about what he's saying. Every time you choose distraction, you're not just losing this moment. You're training your brain to lose the next one, and the next one, and every moment after that. You're building neural pathways that lead straight to scattered, superficial thinking. And once those pathways are carved deep, recovering focus becomes exponentially harder. Epictetus called his practice prosoche, continuous attention, vigilant watchfulness. It's not meditation. It's not mindfulness in the modern sense. It's something more demanding. It's the constant awareness of where your attention rests and the discipline to redirect it, again and again, to what actually matters. He taught the dichotomy of control. But here's what most people don't understand. It's an attention management system. He divided reality into two categories: what's in your power, your thoughts, your choices, your responses. What's not in your power, other people, outcomes, the past, the future. And he said, here's the rule. Direct your attention only to what's yours. Everything else is noise. Imagine living this way. Every time your mind drifts to worry about outcomes you can't control, you notice. You redirect. Back to your choices. back to your actions, back to now. It's like having a filter for reality. 90% of what steals your attention doesn't even make it through. And the 10% that does, the things you actually control, receive your full power. Epictetus used an analogy that should shake anyone who thinks attention doesn't matter. He compared it to a ship captain. It's much easier for a mariner to wreck his ship than to keep it sailing safely. All he has to do is head a little more upwind, and disaster is instantaneous. In fact, he doesn't have to do anything. A momentary loss of attention will produce the same result. A momentary loss of attention. That's all it takes. One glance at your phone during a crucial conversation, one moment of mental drift during an important decision, 1 second where your awareness slips, and the ship wrecks. Your relationship fractures. Your opportunity passes. Your potential dies in that gap between what you could have focused on and what you chose to ignore instead. The Stoics knew what modern people are just rediscovering. Attention is everything, not motivation, not talent, not luck, attention. The ability to direct your mental energy consistently toward what matters. Master that, and you master life. Lose that, and it doesn't matter what else you have. Seneca watched Rome's wealthiest citizens chase every new philosophy, every trending idea, every attractive distraction. And he saw them dying inside. Wealthy but empty, busy but useless, informed but ignorant. In his second letter to Lucilius, he diagnosed the disease that's only gotten worse in 2,000 years. We live in a world full of information, so much that it is easy to become diverted and sidetracked by it all, even if you ignore what is broadcast by the media. There is still a massive amount of knowledge at hand. A news story interests you, then a political event catches your eye. Next, a report of a new gadget, followed by a desire to travel. Then you go back to reading a book or writing. Then it's back to the news again. And while these topics may be more intellectually stimulating than gossip, you still end up attaining superficial and shallow knowledge. He's describing your life, your browser tabs, your podcast subscriptions, your saved articles you'll never read. The information buffet where you sample everything and master nothing. Seneca's advice was brutal in its simplicity. Choose less, go deeper, master one thing before you chase the next. Because breadth without depth is just sophisticated ignorance. He wrote about tranquility, but not the passive kind, not bubble baths and candles. He meant the tranquility that comes from doing less, better. If you seek tranquility, do less, or more accurately, do what's essential. Most of what we do or say is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you'll have more tranquility. Eliminate the unnecessary, and you eliminate unnecessary anxiety. Think about your day. How much of what you do actually matters? Not feels urgent, actually matters. Seneca would look at your calendar, your to-do list, your commitments, and ask one question. What's essential? Not what's comfortable, not what's expected. What moves your life forward? Everything else, he'd say, is stealing your attention from what counts. And here's where it gets interesting. Modern neuroscience is proving the Stoics right in ways they never could have imagined. Researchers at Georgia Tech discovered something remarkable while studying brain activity during deep focus. Using functional MRI scans, they found that attention fluctuates in 20-second cycles. Your brain naturally oscillates between high focus and slight drift, roughly every 20 seconds. When someone is in the zone, deeply concentrated, two specific brain networks synchronize. The frontoparietal control network, which handles directed attention, and the default mode network, which is active when your mind wanders. In deep focus, These networks work together in precise rhythm. But here's the critical part. When attention breaks, when you check your phone or switch tasks, these networks desynchronize. And it takes significant time and energy to get them back in rhythm. This is why the Stoics were right about continuous attention. Every break costs more than you think. Not just the seconds you spend distracted, but the minutes it takes to rebuild that synchronized state. Other studies validated Marcus Aurelius's approach even further. Research on attention residue, conducted by Sophie Leroy at the University of Minnesota, proved that switching tasks leaves cognitive residue behind. Parts of your brain literally stay stuck on the previous activity. When participants switch tasks frequently, their performance dropped by 40% compared to when they maintained focus. 40%. Marcus Aurelius, writing by candlelight 2,000 years ago, somehow knew what scientists would later confirm with million-dollar equipment, and Epictetus' warning about habit formation. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity. Every time you choose distraction, you strengthen neural pathways that make distraction easier next time. Every time you choose focus, you build myelin around the neurons involved in sustained attention, making them fire faster and more reliably. Your brain physically changes based on what you practice. The Stoics understood this without microscopes or brain scans. They understood it through observation, through practice, through ruthless honesty about what works and what doesn't. Then there's the smartphone research that validates Seneca's warnings about scattered attention. A study from the University of Texas found that the mere presence of a smartphone reduces cognitive capacity. Not using it, just having it nearby. Participants performed 26% worse on tasks requiring full attention when their phone was on the desk, even if it was turned off. Your brain knows the phone is there. Part of your attention monitors it, waiting, hoping, anticipating. That's attention you could be using to think, to create, to solve, to build. Instead, it's wasted guarding against the possibility of a notification. The dopamine research is perhaps most damning. Variable reward schedules, the mechanism that makes gambling addictive, are engineered into every social media platform. Psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered in the 1930s that rats respond most frantically when rewards come at unpredictable intervals. Social media companies hired the best behavioral psychologists in the world to apply those same principles to their apps. Your brain gets conditioned. Scroll, might find something good. Check, might see something new. Refresh, might get validation. And like Skinner's rats, you keep pressing the lever, burning attention, fragmenting focus, training yourself into perpetual distraction. Cal Newport documented that most people can sustain deep focus for about 4 hours per day, maximum. After that, the prefrontal cortex fatigues. But here's the thing. Most people don't even get those 4 hours. They get fragments, pieces, slivers of attention between interruptions. They live their entire lives, never experiencing what their brain is capable of when it's allowed to work at full capacity, undistracted, for extended periods. The Stoics didn't have fMRI machines, but they had something better. They had skin in the game. Their focus directly determined their survival, their effectiveness, their peace of mind. So they paid attention to what worked. And what worked was simple, brutal, and completely at odds with modern life. So here's what you do. Here's the protocol that synthesizes 2,000 years of Stoic wisdom with modern neuroscience. Start your day like Marcus Aurelius. Before you touch your phone, before you let the world in, decide what deserves your attention today. Not what's urgent, what's essential. Write it down. One thing, maybe 3 if you must. But know this. If everything is important, nothing is. Choose what gets your undivided focus. Everything else is secondary. Then, throughout your day, practice Epictetus's prosoche. Set triggers. Every hour, ask yourself where your attention is right now. Is it on what you control? Is it on what matters? Or has it drifted to outcomes you can't influence, other people's opinions, future scenarios that may never happen? When you catch it drifting, and you will, redirect. No judgment, no frustration, just redirect, like training a puppy. Patient, persistent, relentless. Work in the deep focus blocks that neuroscience recommends. 90 minutes minimum. Phone in another room. Notifications off. One task. Complete attention. If you can only manage 25 minutes at first, start there. But push toward 90. Because that's where the magic happens. That's where flow state lives. That's where your brain stops being a servant to distraction and becomes what it was designed to be. A tool for creating, solving, building things that matter. And here's the key that most people miss. Single task like your life depends on it. Because it does. Not your biological life. Your real life. The life you could be living if you weren't scattering your potential across 100 meaningless things. When you're with someone, be with them. When you're working, work. When you're resting, rest. Stop this poisonous habit of being nowhere fully. Use Seneca's filter ruthlessly. Before you engage with anything at all, ask what's essential. That article, essential. That video, essential. That meeting, essential. That notification, essential. If the answer isn't a clear yes, the answer is no. Because every non-essential thing you say yes to is stealing attention from what actually moves your life forward. At night, review your day the way Marcus Aurelius did. Not to judge, to learn. Where did your attention go? Where should it have gone? What pulled you off course? What kept you on it? Write it down. Because awareness is the first step to mastery. And you can't manage what you don't measure. The compound effect of this practice is staggering. Imagine reclaiming even 2 hours of deep focus per day. 2 hours where your attention isn't fractured, where you're not context switching, where you're building, creating, thinking at full capacity. In a year, that's 730 hours. In 5 years, that's 3,650 hours of work at elite level, instead of fragmented mediocrity. That's the difference between ordinary and exceptional, between wishing and becoming. This isn't productivity porn. This isn't another hack. This is transformation. Because when you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your agency. You stop being a passive reactor to every stimulus and become an active creator of your reality. You stop letting others steal your mental energy and start directing it toward what you've chosen to matter. The Stoics knew something that modern culture desperately tries to hide from you. Your attention is your life, not a part of it, not one aspect among many. It's the whole thing. Because life is nothing but a series of moments, and moments are nothing but where your attention rests. If your attention is scattered, your life is scattered. If your attention is directed, your life is directed. It's that simple. It's that profound. 2,000 years ago, men living in a world of war, plague, and chaos discovered this truth. They built a system that worked, not because it was easy, because it was necessary. And now, modern science has validated every principle they taught. The neuroscience of attention, the psychology of focus, the biology of cognitive performance. All of it confirms what the Stoics knew through observation and practice. You have a choice. You can keep living the way you're living. Checking your phone 96 times a day. fragmenting your focus across 1,000 meaningless stimuli, building neural pathways that lead to distraction, anxiety, and a life half-lived. Or you can do what Marcus Aurelius did in that military camp, what Epictetus did in slavery, what Seneca did in the chaos of Roman politics. You can concentrate every minute. You can guard your attention like the treasure it is. You can stop being aimless and become deliberate. If you found value in this, if you felt something shift in how you see attention and focus, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because this kind of content, this depth, this combination of ancient wisdom and modern science, this is what we do here. We don't chase trends. We chase truth. And the truth is, your attention is under attack. But you're not defenseless. You have the wisdom of the Stoics. You have the validation of neuroscience. You have a choice. Your attention is your life. The Stoics knew it. Science proves it. Now you control it.